Okay.
Okay, so let's look at this example. This is from exercise 21, page 241. And if you remember last week, we talked about this little rule about using less with a comparative
Yes.
and then with not as in a comparative. So Walter, since you're the only one here today, you get to answer both of these. So let's just
Okay.
take a moment and then tell me if you want to, and you can even circle one if you want. Just use your pencil, but A
Okay.
or B. Just put what you think.
The first one is B. Oh, it's not a circle. It's maybe some irregular circle.
Okay.
And the second one, that is a little bit confusing because hard working is just a word.
Yeah, hardworking is an adjective, and it's the reason it has the hyphen line in the middle is because it's considered as like one word.
Okay.
Hardworking means like, a person who works hard. So they're diligent. Okay, and are there more, for either one of these, is there more than one possible answer?
Yes, I can use the B too.
Okay. All right, so, and 2 is joining us in just a moment here. I can see her getting on. Good morning, 2. Welcome to
Great.
class. So Walter, can you explain why for number 2 do we have 2 possibilities, and number 1 we only have 1 possibility?
Okay, number one, I only can use one possibility because it has one syllable adjective. So I can use less. And in the second one, I have more than two syllables adjective, so I can use both of them.
Okay, so that's the little rule. Get the adjective. If it's one syllable, then we have fewer choices. We can only use the not as. So my nephew is not as old as my niece. So that means my niece is older. My nephew is younger. And then number 2, we have hardworking as an adjective. And it is 3 syllables. So in that case, we can use less than or not as. So my nephew is less hardworking than my niece. My nephew is not as hardworking as my niece. Both of those mean the same thing. Okay? And good morning, too. Do you have any questions about our warm-up?
No, I understand about it.
Okay, you understand all this. Let's just keep going then. All right, well, let's check our homework next. And I was telling Walter earlier that Amani cannot join us today. He's got some stuff to do. And who was the other person that normally joins us? I
Fee
forgot.
Young and Angelica?
Oh,
Young.
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. I bet you Faye Young will come later. I'm not sure about Angelica yet, but okay. It's always good when we have at least 3 people here if we can get them here, but not always possible. Okay, so we're checking our homework next. And you guys did exercise 17.
17.
1923.
Yes.
So exercise 17, why don't we do it this way? Walter, give us all the answers for 17, and then 2, you can give us the answers for 19.
Okay. I have to read it or just the answer?
You can just do the answer.
Okay, number 2, she does, and her.
Okay, wait. Number 2. The Peggy is 13. That one?
Uh, yes, and she feels sad. She
Okay,
thinks
and
most.
why did you use does?
Oh yes, I have to use is, right?
Oh, I'm just
No,
asking.
No,
no,
she
because I
doesn't.
have. She
Because
thinks yes. That was the
think
first sentence, and the second sentence. She thinks most of the other girls, so I need an auxiliary verb, and it's
impression.
does.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, you were looking at thinks. Yeah. Okay. Right. Sometimes it is confusing to know, okay, which auxiliary do we need? But we're not talking
Oh,
about what she thinks, we're talking
she
about what
talk
she
How she
is.
it.
feels,
No, no, she
right?
talk about the pet key. Pet
Pet?
key is
Oh,
13.
Peggy.
Yeah, I know now.
Well,
Oh,
okay,
so
there's
is
lots of verbs. Let's
yes,
look at
is
the second
is
part. She thinks most of the girls are, okay, circle that verb are. The girls are
for
far more popular than she is
is
popular. We're
yes.
talking about how popular she is. So we're not
Okay,
talking about her age, like she is 13. We're not talking about feels or thinks, but it's
Oh,
is because it's her describing how popular she is. Yeah. So
the subject is là honor. I think most of the other girl in the school. Honor that a subject.
right, she is a subject, thinks is a verb, and then most of the other girls in school. Most is a subject and are is the verb. Most of the other girls in the school are. So most are far more popular than is.
Oh, in that
okay.
sentence, the most that a subject.
Most is a subject.
And are is a verb. Yes.
And you probably think, well, why not girls? Is girls the subject? But it's not all the girls.
Most.
It's most of the girls. So most is referring to the like
Yes,
Uh,
we study before how to find the subject in the
right.
last question. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
like I could
before
change that sentence and I could say she thinks one of the other girls in the
is
school is,
yes
right?
one
If
that
I
is.
change most to the, then I'd have to change are to is. And that shows us that most is a subject.
Okay.
Wow, that one was hard. Okay,
yes.
well,
Because
Walter,
we
keep going.
confuse the subject.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, we are and us or us.
Okay, now we did this in
Them,
class. We're talking about the kids.
them.
We're not talking about myself and the kids. So we cannot use we because if it's we, that's you, Walter, you're included as
Oh,
the subject.
yes, yes. That he is.
Them.
They,
They,
They?
they
Oh,
are the
yes.
kids. We're
they,
comparing the
Or
kids to Mr. El Said.
and
Hmm.
them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I should let you continue giving the answers
No,
here.
yes, please. Let me
Okay, you get
continue.
one more chance. What
the
did you
number
put for
three,
number
the
4?
One
number
more
three là
chance,
they,
please.
them mà.
Okay, number 4. He can or him.
Yes.
Yes, he can and him. Good job.
Okay, number 5. That was great.
Yeah,
Number
you got
5,
that.
Carlos did or him.
Right. He did or him. Yes.
And number 6, he can or him.
Yes.
Number 6. Yes, I think it should be he can. Your answer key says she can, but Carlos is a
Oh,
man's name. So, yeah, number 6, he can
Uh,
or him. I don't know why they put her.
Okay, so is it correct?
Yes, you're correct to use he can or him.
Okay, number 7, the first one is mine.
Oh, wait a second. I was looking at number 5.
Oh, number 5,
I got confused. I
he.
I
got confused.
said, okay, number
Number
5,
6, Mariko. Number 6, Mariko. I guess that's a girl's name. So we'll use she can or her.
okay, she can or her. I thought
Okay.
Mariko is a
Yeah,
name
me
of a
too.
boy.
The
Yeah,
human
and sometimes we don't know. So, I mean, it could be a girl's name, could be a
culture đó.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. But there are names like for me in Vietnamese, they have Ni as a
Me.
girl's name and Ni as a boy's name, right? Too.
Yeah, sometimes with the same.
Yeah, and so
There is one in Spanish too. For example, Maria. It can be a boy name or a girl name.
really.
Yes, but you have to use two names at the same time. For example, if it's a girl, you're gonna use Maria Jose and the last name. And it is a boy, you put Jose first. So Jose Maria.
Oh,
Jose
yeah, because
Maria and the last
yeah.
name.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. All right. Keep going with number 7. What did you say?
Number 7, I have two blanks. The first one is mine
Okay.
because I have a possessive, so it's one answer. And the second one, Isabel's or her.
Hers with the S.
Hers.
Excuse me, we can use the her classes with my
Yes.
classes.
Yes. So this is how we use possessive nouns. And I was looking back in the beginning of your book because I do believe there is a section about these possessive nouns, possessive pronouns. But I'll keep looking for it. I'm not sure where it is. Basically, if I say Isabel's classes are more difficult than my classes, so my classes is the same thing as mine,
Yes.
and her classes is the same as hers. But okay to say mine classes. Is that okay?
No.
Because my that already là recited là my classes rồi.
That's correct. So if we already have the M, like mine, then we do not need the noun after it.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. I found it. It's page 168.
168. Oh my
Right.
God.
Page 168. We studied that in level 1. 168. Sometime and look at the possessive
Yes.
pronouns. Okay. So yes, that's correct. And then number 8.
Number 8, them or our neighbors.
Okay, so let's go back to number 8. It says our house is much smaller than.
Oh,
Now, are we comparing the house or are we comparing the people?
The house.
We're talking about the house. So we have to use their
There.
or you can use theirs. So if I were you, I would circle our neighbor's house and I would circle our house, their house. So we're comparing the houses, we're not comparing the people, but we need to make sure we're using the correct possessive. So Walter, if you said them, our house is much smaller than them, that means their house is smaller than a person's body. Because it would be like if I'm 6 feet tall, then that you're saying our house is smaller than 6 feet. That's really that's like a dollhouse, kids, basically. That's really small.
Yes.
So because in your sentence you compared that one house to a person or people's size. Okay, so that little possessive is so important that we get the right noun in the right possessive. So yeah, we're going to use theirs, or you can say their house. And then the second part is ours or our house. Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay, those are really good mistakes that you made in that. I'm really glad you did because it gives us a chance to talk about it a little bit more. And in your discussion board activity that I want you guys to do this week, you are going to practice writing some of these possessives in comparisons. So that will give you another opportunity to practice using these possessives. You know, like my car is cleaner than my neighbor's car. My car is cleaner than his, or my car is cleaner than theirs. You know, you're going to practice some of those in the discussion board. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay, good. So, 2, are you ready to tell us about exercise 19?
so exercise 19.
Page 240.
Number 2. Number 2. It's much a lot of far hotter today than yesterday. Number 3. Look, number 3. An airplane is very fast or an airplane is not as slowly. Oh, number 3, yeah. Oh, I must more question. So number 3, uh, an airplane is very fast or an airplane is not as slowly as the bicycle. Hmm? Number 5,
Okay.
it's most difficult.
Oh, you made a lot of sentences here. Okay, so what they want you to do is if there's a comparison, they want you to keep the comparison in your sentence. But if there's not a comparison, they want you to not use a comparison.
Yes.
So in this sentence, there's no comparison. So if there's no
Number
comparison,
3,
for number
it's
3, we
very
can use
fast.
very, yeah. An
Yes.
airplane is very fast.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
number
it.
4.
Now,
Number
wait a second, too. You also gave a sentence with slowly.
Yes, that's
Okay, right?
more computer.
Okay, so let me just correct your sentence since you already said it. We can talk about it. I want you to write it like an airplane is much slower
Slower.
or a lot slower than a bicycle?
An airplane, how can slower?
slower. Yeah, an airplane is much slower than a bicycle. And the reason we're using slower is because slower is the comparative adjective. And do you notice in the sentence we have the word is?
Oh, is, yes.
When we're using is, class, that's a signal that this word is an adjective.
Yes. Oh, but
Fast is an
is we
adjective.
can
Slow is an
use with the adjective.
Yeah, we need to use an adjective. So if you want to use comparative, use a comparative adjective like slower.
Slower. But I use
Okay.
is not as ma.
Okay, with not as, an
Yes,
airplane
it's
not
not
as slow as.
slowly as bicycle.
Yeah, but we're not
So
using
I will use
slowly,
adjective.
remember? Remember, we're not using slowly because we have the be verb, we have is.
Oh, yeah.
Got to keep it an adjective.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a lot of things to look at here, a lot. We can look at, are we using adjectives? Are we using adverbs? We're looking at, is it comparison or not? Look at number 4. We have the be verb again, is. So that, does that mean we need to use an adjective or adverb?
Adverb.
No.
Adjective.
Adjective, just like
I
number
a
3.
little confused with the verb to be. We use adjective, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's slowly, slowly.
N-
That's adjective or adverb.
No, yeah, slowly is an adverb. Slowly
Oh.
is an adverb. It tells you how you do something. And slow and slower are adjectives.
Yeah. I understand now. I a little bit confused with the slowly adjective and slowly adverb and slow là hay siêu thái ở tờ bờ đó. Understand now. Oh my God, slowly that adverb and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, it's all right. It's a Tuesday morning, so, well, actually it's
Yes.
afternoon
Yes, I
now, but
understand now.
it takes us a while to get warmed up to English grammar. By Friday, you'll be in it. You'll be ready to go.
Yeah, a little bit confused with the some word with the adverb or adjective or the verb.
Okay, but we got it now. So
Okay.
we're going to go a little bit more quickly through these, okay? Can you tell us
Okay.
number 2? Can you give us number 4?
Yeah, number 4 is are you a lost faster?
Yeah, yeah. A lot faster. Good.
Number 5, are you is much difficult.
Much more difficult. Yes. Yes, you can do that.
So number 6, I don't do it.
But you have to use only very, a lot, much.
Right.
So if we change the sentence and using more is correct, but we
Well,
need very,
number 6 already has more in it.
yeah, but not number
So,
5.
oh, number 5? Oh, did she say
Number
much
5,
more
they
difficult?
don't have competitor or anything. They just sentence.
Yeah, number 5, we're just, that is not a comparative. So they want us to use very. And then 6, 7, those are comparatives. So we
Yes.
use the much, a lot, or far.
Yeah.
And number 7, here's a good example too of a action verb with adverb. That's why we say more expensively, because we're using an adverb that goes with the action verb, can live. So be verb goes with adjective, and action verb goes with adverb. Okay? Has everybody got that? Are we thumbs up on that one? Okay. Good. And then, so number 7, you can live much more inexpensively in student housing than in a rented apartment. Number 8, you can live very inexpensively in student housing.
Done.
All right. And let's go to the
All right.
next one. I think we have one more, exercise 23. Let's check that one real quick. And this one, I will give the answers to you.
Yes.
Because you know they'll all be correct. Yeah.
Because it's faster.
23. Number 1A is false. 1B is true. Am I right?
Yes.
Yay. So number 1, we have false and then true. Number true and then false.
Yes.
Number 3 is false and then true.
Yes.
Number 4 is false, false, true.
Yes.
And number 5, true, true, false, true.
True. Yes.
Okay, any questions about those? Let me know.
Next time I do the last one.
Oh, okay. Is that the easier one?
No.
Yeah, we'll let you pick next time.
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and go over to my screen. I'm going to share the lesson for today, and I'm using a PowerPoint again because last time it took me so long to write sentences on the whiteboard, so I think I'm going back to PowerPoint now. Make it a little faster. Okay, so we're starting on page 242, and we're going to go and cover all the way to page 251 in this chapter today. So I want to go over about 4 or 5 different structures to use with comparatives and superlatives. And then at the end, we're going to work in a very small group, and you guys will come up with some examples to share with the class, and we'll check them, okay? So let's first look at this structure, a comparative plus a noun. Comparative plus a noun. So let's say in my example here, I want to compare population of Asians in 2 different states. So I'm comparing the population of Asians and the population of Asians in Texas. So in this case, I need to use a comparative and when I'm comparing. So does anybody have an idea of what we could put in the blank?
I think so.
Okay, Walter, go ahead.
I tried. There's a more population of Asian in California than in Texas.
Okay, and I gave this one is a challenging word. Population is a word, like sometimes students wonder, what can I use to show that it's more, right? Like more
How
people.
much?
Use more with people, like there are more people in California or more Asians in California. But if I use the word population, I cannot use more. I need to use
Much.
Much.
Not going to be much either.
No.
Lot. A lot.
Higher or greater. Higher or greater is those are two of the adjectives compared to. So we can say there's a higher population in California than in Texas, or there's a greater population of Asians in California than in Texas. So higher or greater, because we're talking about a number of people, a higher number or a lower number, a greater number, a lower, we say lower. You could say lower population, higher population, and it's just the way we use the comparative with that noun, okay? Let's do, any questions about that one?
No.
It's just one really quick example. There's more examples on page 242. 242, they give you an example with more coffee. But I wanted to challenge you a little bit. I didn't use more because all their more, but we can use other comparatives like higher, greater. Okay, so let's do number next. For this one, what we have is a repeated comparative word. Twice. The same comparative is used twice in a row with and in the middle. So you probably heard people say this before, like higher and higher, bigger and bigger, more and more. Have you guys heard those before?
Yes.
Okay, so what does that mean if I'm saying like the balloon is rising higher and higher in the sky?
He's ascending continuously.
It is.
It is.
Because balloon in Spanish is a masculine word, right?
Say it again?
Balloon in Spanish, is that a masculine word?
No.
Like it's like
No,
el
Mas-
balón something?
no. Balloon, it mean globo.
Oh, but it's el, right? El globo.
Ah, yes.
Because
Yes,
you
you're
said
right.
he is going higher in the sky, but it's it.
Oh, I understand now.
Yeah, because it's not a person.
Yes, we use that to describe anything.
Yeah. But you got the right idea. It means increasing more and more, like more and more up in the sky, basically, is what it means. So when we have a comparative with and the same comparative, it's going to mean it's increasing in degree over time. That's the meaning of this structure. So let's do a practice together. Two, you can help me with this one if you want. My teenage son is getting blank and blank. Can we use a comparative here? Do you have any
Bigger and
ideas? Bigger and bigger? Yeah, that's a good one. Walter, do you have another idea?
taller and taller.
Yeah, but it's getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, there you go. Stronger and stronger, taller and taller. And here's one with a longer adjective. Okay, because remember with the long adjectives, we cannot use ER. So I can say more and more independent. He is getting more and more independent. Right. We do not say he's getting more independent and more independent. We don't say that. It's just more and more. And then we put the long adjective. Okay, any questions with this one?
No.
Okay, we're kind of zipping through these a little bit quickly, but we will come back and practice. Okay, let's look over at page 245, and this one is a conditional structure. A conditional structure. A conditional means if something happens, then something else will happen. Okay? So for example, if I push the gas pedal on my car, then my car moves forward or backwards, right? If I don't push the gas pedal, then it does not move. So that's setting up what we call a. So we can use comparatives to show conditions. Okay, so here's how we do it. Here's an example. The harder you will learn. So what we have is on the left side of the comma, we have a comparative and a subject and verb. The harder you study, we've got to use the, okay? But we've got a comparative with subject and verb on the left. And then on the right side, we have the effect or the second thing that will happen. It has a comparative more and a subject and verb. Okay? So the harder you study, the more you will learn. That means if you study hard, will be you learn more. Okay, let's do another example. The more, and I can use more on the left side too if I want. The more you exercise, the what? Can anybody finish that?
The more you exercise,
Mm-hmm.
the no. eh,
The more you exercise.
Let's think of an effect of exercise.
Yes, I think, but I don't need more, like healthier or stronger.
Oh, yeah, it depends on the adjective. You can use more again.
And the more you exercise,
You want to use healthier.
the more you exercise, the more you will become stronger.
The more you'll become stronger. Well, it's what I would call redundant because you are already saying stronger, so you don't
With
really need to use more.
more, yes,
So I would just use the
More you
beginning. I
exercise,
would say the
you
more
get
you exercise, the stronger you will be.
you will be.
or the best you get.
Okay, so that's a good example. The stronger you will be. Okay, or become. You can say the stronger you will become. And two, what did you say?
I say the more you exercise, the best you get or you have.
The best?
You
You
get.
said the best?
Yeah.
Um, we're not going to use a superlative. Superlative is best. What about the more you exercise, the better
The
you
better.
will be, maybe. I don't know. The better you will be?
So,
Yeah, the better you will feel. The more you exercise, the healthier you will be. Okay? So those are a couple of issues.
Understand.
If that one is kind of challenging for you, then focus on that one in your My English Lab
Yeah.
yes,
exercises. That's my goal for you guys, is to work on those areas that are a little more challenging for you. So let's continue. Let's do a superlative next. Page 246. And let's look at a couple of really tricky things about superlatives. So by now you already know superlative is like the plus some kind of ST word, like the most wonderful or the biggest, right? So we've got the ST in there. But what we have not practiced yet is more specific things on how to use them. So what we were going to do today is look at how to use them correctly. And here's my first point. You need to put parameters on groups in most cases because a superlative means, what's that too?
No, they just something on my computer.
Oh, something's on your computer. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to put parameters on groups. That superlative means the extreme condition of a huge group. Okay, so for example, what if I say my house is the biggest house? Is that a good sentence?
You're missing something.
What am I missing?
Uh, my house is the biggest house in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood? So why do I have to use
Mm,
Have something to compare.
because your house is not the biggest in the completely world. So you have to use parameters.
That's exactly right. You're almost saying exactly my my explanation. So if you say my house is the biggest house, that means your group, the group that it's in, is the entire universe. All the way around the world, every country. That's the biggest group possible. So what you're saying is your house is bigger than any house on the planet. Okay? And that is a little bit exaggerated. I don't think that's true for us, normal people. So we put a parameter, we put a restriction on the size of the group. We cannot say it's the biggest house. What we need to do is say something like this: my house is the biggest house on my street. So on my street, now that's the perimeter, that's the group. I'm limiting the size of the group. So only the houses on my street. So of these 10 houses, my house is the biggest house. That is a proper way of using the superlative. Another example, my house is one of the biggest houses in my neighborhood. So that means maybe my house is not the biggest, but it's closest to the biggest. So maybe it's the second biggest or the third biggest. And that's also a little bit more accurate in our sentences. A lot of people will use one of, like I might, one of my best friends just took a trip to Europe. Because I kind of have two or three really, really good friends that I consider my best friends. I can say one of my best friends, you know. It's a way of putting parameters or restrictions on what you're saying. Okay? Any questions?
No.
Okay, so that's the way to be more accurate with superlatives. Now, let's look at this really strange superlative. It looks like this. It's I've never something. So here's an example. I've never seen a better movie. Now, in this sentence, I don't see a superlative. Okay, but the going to be superlative, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But my first question is, if I say better movie, does that mean that I saw the movie we're talking about or not?
Yes.
Like let's say you say to us, "Hey guys, The Gladiator last weekend. And then I say, hey, wow, I've never seen a better movie. Does that mean that I also saw The Gladiator or not?
Yes.
Yes, look like you saw that, so you can.
Okay, but it says I've never seen.
A
Are you sure it
better
means
movie.
I saw it?
Yes, look like before that you never seen, but after that you see that and you know.
Yes, that's kind of what it means. It means yes, the movie or the person saw the movie, it was great. It means it was the best movie I ever saw. So these two sentences in the yellow have the same meaning. I've never seen a better movie is the same thing as it was the best movie I ever saw. And you can see the superlative there, best, right? Okay, let's do another example. Let's say I go to Dallas Mavericks basketball game, and after the game, I say, I've never seen. What does that mean?
That the person is very tall.
Yeah, that person was the tallest person that I've ever seen.
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, is Fei Young here?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
it's here.
Okay, good. We got 3 students. Because I didn't know you were there. Okay. So if I say I've
Yeah.
never seen a taller person, that means that person was the tallest person that I've ever seen. Okay. Good. Any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yes.
When when you use the word see, or when you're talking about a movie or watching TV, why don't I use watch? What is the difference?
Yeah, that's a good point because normally we watch movies, right? But
Yes.
we do not watch the computer. You know, we look at the computer. Yeah, this is a good question. A lot of students ask, what's the watch and look at? When we're talking about movies and we use see, it's kind of just that we use most of the time. We're referring to um, the movie theater. Like
Okay.
we're going to go see a movie next weekend. We're talking about going to the theater. But we can also use see a movie for our home, you know, just like playing a movie on the DVD player or something. We can also
So,
use watch a movie, but watch is only for home. We
okay.
don't use it for like the movie theater. So it's just
Okay.
a little,
So,
yeah, it's just in the United States, it's kind of cultural. So see a movie can be at home or the movie theater. A movie is usually just at home, at a person's home, not the theater. Okay, good question. Anybody else have a question?
so if I stay
Yeah.
at home, I can see I'm seeing a movie. Can I?
No, no, no. Okay.
I
We're
watch.
going to use, if you use present progressive,
I need
then
to
you
use
want to use
watching.
watch. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like, okay. I wish I could give you a lot of examples, but I'm just thinking about how I use it. The past tense, if I want to talk about something I already watched, I can say, I saw that movie last weekend at my friend's house, you know, or I saw that movie at the movie theater. What are you doing right now? I'm watching a movie at home. Um,
So
Next,
I can
yeah.
say I watched a movie last night.
Yes, you can say that. If you're talking
Oh, I
about
can
at
say that.
home,
Okay.
At home.
you can say it when you're talking about home movie. What did you do last night? Oh, I watched a really good movie. I saw a really good movie. Those are both correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, good question there. Okay, are we ready to practice, guys?
Yes.
Let's put all of
Yes.
this into practice. We have 5 different forms that we talked about today. And so I believe we have just 3 people in class because Amani's not with us today. So the 3 of you are going to just be in a class group, okay? And I'm going to give you about 5 to 10 minutes, and I want you guys to have example sentences for each of the 5 forms and structures that we talked about. So remember, comparative plus noun is like more people, greater population, fewer families. You know, it's a comparative plus a noun, so I want you to use that one. Comparative plus comparative is like higher and higher, taller and taller, more and more respectful. Okay, so practice that one. And then the conditional is when we have the with a comparative and subject and verb, and then the comparative, another subject and verb. So the longer I take online classes, the better I am becoming at doing the work. Something like that, right? It's comparative. If this happens, then the other part happens. And then the 4th one is we're practicing the parameters. So one of the most beautiful cities in the world is in Turkey, or some of the with a superlative. And that one is on page 246 if you want to look over there. You can also practice with number 5 is with a superlative using the I've never. Okay, any questions on what we're doing? Okay, so take a screenshot of this on your phone or something, because I'm going to go back to the whiteboard and I'll open up a whiteboard screen and you guys can type sentences and talk about it. And then after 5 or 10 minutes, we'll come back and check them together. All right, so let me go back to the whiteboard. And let me zoom out big. Yeah. For some reason, this doesn't work whenever I first come back here. Okay, let me try this. Here we go. Okay, guys, so have at it. You can change the color of your sentences if you want. Like maybe Walter can do all the green sentences, or you know, 2 does everything blue. Whatever you want to do to organize it. So take your time and we'll come back in a minute and check it. So turn on your microphones and you guys work together. Go ahead and start. Okay, 2, can you hear me? Okay, we're starting our group work. So I want you talk to the guys. Y'all figure out what sentences you want to write together. We need one example of each of the 5 structures on the board, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead. And Fei Young, too, we're waiting on you.
Okay. Comparative noun.
Can you hear me, Hannah?
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me, Feyon. So I have to go. Can you tell that to Miss Hannah? I'm gonna leave the meeting.
Tell. Oh. I see. Okay.
I've told her about this.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Feyon. I did my first sentence. I need to do four more, but I won't be here more time. So take care, guys.
Okay. You too.
See you.
Have a good day.
Bye bye. You too. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Walter had to leave.
Yes.
So It's just you two now. So let's get some examples. You guys can talk together and work out which ones you want to put on the board and help each other correct your own sentences, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we got 2 more minutes. So who was writing these sentences?
I'm writing.
Okay. What about 2? Is
Yes.
she putting any sentences there?
Okay, I will. Let's see. I will.
Ready, guys?
Yes.
All right, 2, are you ready? Are you there?
A little bit.
Okay, so let's look at the first one. What is the first one an example of?
There are more chaos outside. It's a
Okay.
comparative plus a noun.
Okay. Comparative plus a noun. All right, so more is the comparative word and chaos is the noun, all right? This is
Yes.
a really good example, but there's one mistake. Let's see, 2, can you find the mistake?
There are more child outside.
It's chaos. Chaos. Do you see a little mistake with the subject and verb?
There is, there are.
Yeah. Good. So,
So
Just
yeah,
there
so is
there
okay.
is, yes.
yeah. And why do we need to use is? Because chaos becomes the subject, even though it's after the verb. It's because we started with there. There is, there are, there was, there were. And we're looking after the verb to find a single. And chaos is a non-count noun, which means it's always singular. We've got to use is.
Chaos.
Okay, good. So we've got comparative plus a noun, and we always put a period at the end of the sentence. Good. What about the second one? What is this an example of?
Is the getting
Comparative
hotter.
and the comparative.
Okay. So this one is talking about increasing in degree over time. 2 example. Yeah. So it's getting hotter and hotter this summer. Looks good to me. Yeah. I like how you put a double T because this is a single syllable adjective that ends with consonant vowel consonant, so we double the T. That's good. All right, number 3. What is this an example of?
Conditional comparative.
Yes. This number 3 is the conditional comparative. So in order to create the meaning that we want, we need to use a specific structure. We have to say the with a comparative. So we have to start the sentence with the with a comparative, subject and verb. And in this case, Fei Young, you also use the comparative with a noun. So it's kind of like you combined number 1 with the conditional. So that's okay too. So we've got the with conditional, subject and verb, comma, the with conditional and subject and verb. So the more practice I do, the more improvement I will have. Okay. And do we have improvement? I've seen a lot of improvement. I have a lot of improvement. I'm trying to think if we can use it with have. Because what I want to say here, instead of the more improvement I will have, I want to say the more I will
Improve.
improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about that?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent. Conditional comparative. And number 4. Who did number 4?
Phi Young.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, 2. Oh, Fei Young, you did. Well, Fei Young, you did most of these. Okay. What is the meaning or what is the structure we're using here?
One of the superlative.
Right. We're creating a perimeter when we say one of. Yeah.
Superlative.
One of the most beautiful countries is America. One of the most beautiful countries. Yeah. Okay, good. You've got one is the subject, is the verb.
Yes.
Good job. Okay. And then 2, did you do number 5? Oh my gosh. So what were you doing the whole time, 2? Writing your own sentences or what?
She write at the right side.
On the right side? Oh, I didn't know there was one over there. I didn't see that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm glad you told me
I
that.
still a little sorry. I'm still a little bit confused with that. So this time I have a more
Okay.
practice because I still confused. So I don't know.
Okay. Which one are you confused about?
Yeah, look like condition, and so many things new for me. So just a short
Right.
time, I a little bit confused.
Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of structures in a short time. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So
We went through these a little bit quickly.
yeah, I
Um,
need the time to practice, and after that,
okay.
it's so new, and I a little bit confused a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because you have a reason for that, right? Because we know the basics of comparatives and superlatives, but we have a lot of specific ways that we use them, and students can make mistakes very easily by missing one of the parts or maybe mixing words around. So I'm glad you said that. The discussion board activity that is due on Friday will give you a chance to look at these more closely and then create your own sentences. Okay, so I'll check those for you on Friday and everybody else as well. My suggestion with all of these is to take one at a time, go through the sections in your chapter 9 book and
Yes.
practice writing one or two of your own sentences and then put it in Blackboard in the discussion board. Pay attention to the structure of each. Like number 2, you have to have conditional with and a conditional. That's a requirement. So everything else you can move around, but you've got to make sure you've got these 3 words. So each one has their own like specific rules on where to put the words. So just do one at a time and take your time on those.
Yes.
Let's look at number 5. I have never eaten more delicious food than this before. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that. Take out the than and say, I have never eaten more delicious food. And what that means is this is the most delicious food. So yeah, that's good right there. And the last one, my dog is the shortest member in our family. So good. This is an example of
Number
the
one.
putting the parameters
Okay.
using in our family. So you're giving it a limitation on the group. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yep. So you did number 4. My house has bigger stairs than yours. Okay, you're practicing with the possessive. So for this one, we don't need a because stairs is plural.
Yes.
So just my house has bigger stairs than yours. Yes, that's a good use of possessive in a superlative. I mean, in a comparative sentence. What can we also say to, instead of saying yours, can we also say something else?
Um. Then your house.
Yes. So yours is the same as your house. Yours or your house. Okay, great. Well, that was our lesson for today. So it gives you a lot of things to think about and work on. Is there anybody else that has, I mean, do you guys have questions or anything we need to talk about?
I have a question.
Yes.
So when I do the practice, there is a question. Uh, it's lively, and it's um, it's the comparative is that livelier or more lively. I I feel confused.
Okay.
So these
So
two.
good. That's a good question. So what you're doing is you're talking about an adjective that ends with ly, right?
Yes.
So with adjectives that end in ly, like friendly, lively, what you can do is you can do either one. You can use more lively, more friendly, or you can use the IER, friendlier, lively. And are you talking about My English Lab, one of the examples?
The right answer, it gives me the right answer is livelier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it said it's wrong to use more lively.
I use more lively, but you said I'm wrong, so I feel a little confused. Yeah, about this
Yeah, that
part.
is confusing. So you lively, and then it said it's wrong, right?
Right.
Okay, let me see. I'm looking in your book. I'm looking in your book on page 235.
230. 230.
Okay, I'm not sure that I don't think I agree with the My English Lab when they said you were wrong, because on page 235, lively is a two-syllable adjective that ends with y, right?
Yes.
Lively. So when it, in the book, page 235, in the middle, er and est are used with two-syllable adjectives that end in y. Wait, did you say more lively?
Yes.
I forgot.
Yeah, I think it's more lively. It has 3 syllables.
No, lively has two syllables. Oh,
Okay.
so you put more lively, or you put livelier. I forgot which.
I said more lively. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a ly. It's end at ly.
And that's why they say that it's wrong, because in this book they say er is used with two-syllable adjectives that end in y. But in another grammar book that I have, it says you can do either one. You can use the more, like more lively.
So both of them are correct.
Yes, but with some of these, okay, like the word busy. Wait, is more busy, busier. Busy. Busy and more busy. More busy. I'm busier. I don't know with that one. I might just use busier. But friendly. Oh, that's what it is. I see it now. Look at page 2. Do you see the two
235.
syllable? Yeah,
Okay.
two.
Okay.
Page 235. Do you see on the left side where it says adjectives? Do you see that page yet?
Yes.
Two-syllable adjectives, and there's 3 sections. There's 3. They divide it into 3 parts. Are you there with me, Fei Young? Do you see it?
I'm trying to
Maybe
open my.
some
Oh,
two
okay.
syllable
Oh,
Yes.
adjective.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, page 235, two-syllable adjectives. There's 3 different. And the middle section, it has clever, gentle, friendly.
Yes.
Okay. And on the right side, it says some two-syllable adjectives use either the ER or the more. So like friendly, you can say friendlier or more friendly. But under that section, you see busy, pretty. Those, they want you to just use ER.
Yes.
Do you see the two sections?
Yes.
So basically what I was saying was correct, but I need to be more specific. When we have two-syllable adjectives that end in Y, some of them you would just need to use the ER for comparative. Okay? Like prettier. Pretty becomes prettier. Busy becomes busier. And some of them you can use the ER or the more, like friendly, friendlier, or more friendly.
Yes.
Now,
So how about
yeah,
the ly adverbs? So
yeah,
here
that's
the
right.
ly
That's a little bit different. That's a little, yeah, the ly adverbs, we're going to use ER. I mean, you're going to use more with if they end in ly, but that's for adverbs. When you use the word lively, lively is an adjective
Oh yes. Yes.
that ends with ly. So it's kind of like friendly that ends with ly.
Yes.
So that's why I say I think you can use both, because to me it's in the category with friendly. It's an adjective that ends with an ly.
Yes. Got it.
And that's why I disagree with the My English Lab. So I think either one could be correct. More lively or livelier. But that's the long answer. Basically, because it depends on the word that you're using. But you know what I can do is I can send an email to the Pearson publishers, the one that make the online My English Lab. I can ask them about that question. Because there was a time in the past when I found a mistake in the My English Lab, and I emailed them and they said, "Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna fix that." So they had a mistake in there. So I can email them and just see what they say if you want. I mean, if that would help you.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you, but for me, I would use either one, livelier or more lively.
Okay. So I have another question. Is that part is confuse me, like not nearly comparative or quite not quite. So
Oh,
which one is like quite not nearly bigger than and not quite bigger than which one is bigger? It's yeah it's
oh, okay. So like let's say if I say like on page 230, for example, oh, you were using big. Yeah. So page 230, let's look at that one so we can do it together.
okay.
Page 230, number 4. Number 4. So box B is not quite as big as box A. Box B is not quite as big. So if box B is not quite as big, that means box B is a little bit smaller. So not quite as big is the same thing as a little smaller. Not nearly as is the same thing as a little. Like if I say box B is not nearly as big as box A, it means box B is a little smaller.
So which one is bigger now? Not quite as, or not nearly as? If we compare,
Oh, the
uh,
two?
yeah, these two, I
It's the same. It doesn't really have a difference in meaning. Not quite as is the same meaning as not nearly as.
oh, okay. So how about not quite a bit as? So
Which
yeah, when I do the practice, there is not quite a bit as. Is that the
not
same? Not quite a bit as.
not quite as big as?
Not quite a bit.
Oh, not quite big?
Uh, no. Let me see. Let me write here on the chart.
Okay, go ahead. And by the way, I have the homework posted here. So too, if you need to check it. Did you get the homework?
Yes, yes, I get it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Next one.
Let me go back to my whiteboard so I can see what you're writing.